start preparing for the Echoes of Mekkatorque. I'm gonna cover in this video the strategy, the most essential thing. This will be a high-level overview of what you need to prepare. Every team that I build will follow the same strategy to maximize the damage, and I'll show you all the teams you can build shortly after this video. So make sure you subscribe to this channel and give a like to this video. This will be the Psychic core we will use during the tests. As you can see, I couldn't max out tier 6, mainly because they moved the date on the test server a couple weeks, skipping the otherworld exploration totally, so my Psychic core will be way behind you. I will still try not to use temper and elemental enhancement on the equipment. However, in some cases, that will be necessary to keep the teams in line with survivability, as I'm missing so much Psychic core. Now, let's talk about the strategy and the boss skills. Mekkatorque has 3 passives. First passive, for each debuff the boss is inflicted with, gain 1 stack of misstep for an unlimited duration. As long as you apply the debuff once, you will have 1 stack of misstep, which increases the damage taken by the boss by 10%. If you can utilize this debuff, your team's damage is going to go through the roof, and some teams will have up to 10 stacks of this debuff. Gains immunity to all control and ultimate down. When inflicted with charm, fear or blind, the boss gains a stack of frotted transmission for 10 seconds. What does do is decreases the damage dealt by the boss by 30%. So if you can not survive long enough, bringing someone who can apply one of those 3 will increase your team's survivability, especially if it's on low cooldown like battle skill. His unstable core gains a stack of permanent overheated each time a skill is cast. While the boss is under overheated, attacks all enemies every 10 seconds with each stack of overheated, dealing fire damage. His first skill happens at 6 seconds and it deals AoE damage, while also spawning 6 magic crystal projectiles. This is where your damage will be coming from, as that enables AoE damage dealers. While the projectile damage and debuffs applied to the projectile are applied to Mekkatorque at the same time, while the projectile also inherits misstep from Mekkatorque. So as you can see, 100% damage increase, well, 10% damage increase per misstep on the boss and each of the minions, the magic crystals that he does spawn. Super huge damage for AoE teams. Mekkatorque. Once the projectile reaches 1 HP, it gains core damage, and that's another important mechanic. The projectile launches lasers at set intervals, dealing damage to enemies within a line, and additionally inflicts recharge speed penalty on the targets if it's not under core damage. So if you have AoE that can take down these magic crystals, you will avoid recharge speed penalty, which will help you tremendously to keep your team in sync. His second skill will deal fire damage twice. His third skill will deal fire damage to all enemies. His fourth skill will unleash a sweeping attack across the field from left to right. Each hit will deal fire damage to enemies and reduce the current skill damage by 10%. Will also dispel all buffs from them. So that's quite important. And then the skill that does quite a lot of damage is the energy pulse wave, where he charges up briefly and then unleashes a high energy beam, dealing damage to all enemies. And here's how it looks in action. You can see we spawn these cores, we apply debuffs, trigger our AoE, and they're now at the low HP and disappear, not applying recharge speed penalty. So this is quite important to know and try and utilize this mechanic.